Welcome back to Animal Appreciation. This week we are talking about hyenas. So, to start off, just some interesting facts about hyenas. They look like they should be dogs, but they are in fact more closely related to cats and cat species, which is interesting. While most of them tend to be scavengers, there is some variety in the diets, with some of them being hunters, some of them being insectivores, but largely hyenas have one of the strongest bite forces out of any animal ever, around 1,100 psi, which is insane. Since hyenas tend to be scavengers, largely, the bite force is to allow them to bite through bone to get at the marrow inside, because usually hunting animals with less strong bite forces actually can't get at the marrow, which contains a lot of nutrients, so it's basically just an untapped food source that the hyenas have free reign to. So let's get into the hyena species. There are actually only 4 hyena species, so we will be going through all of them. Starting off with probably the most well-known hyena species, the spotted hyena. The spotted hyena is the largest of the hyena species and probably the most well-known, due to them being the species that the Lion King hyenas were based off of. They live in quite a few areas in Africa, in most, biomes and habitats. They're very adaptable, again, due to them being scavengers. They're really widespread all over a bunch of areas in Africa. Spotted hyenas are largely scavengers, eating leftovers from other animals, but they have been noticed to engage in active hunting of things such as wildebeest and antelope. The spotted hyena is also very well known for the iconic laughing sound. Next up we have the striped hyena. Now, despite having a bit of a wider range than the spotted hyena, it is quite a bit rarer, and it is considered near threatened or vulnerable in lots of the places it lives. It lives in a bunch of areas in Africa, but it also extends up into the Middle East and even over as far as India in some cases. It is also, again, largely a scavenger. It's quite a bit smaller than the spotted hyenas, so there's not nearly as many instances of them actively hunting. So again, they are mainly scavengers and eat leftover carrion. The striped hyenas are also known for making a laughing sound, but it's not nearly as uncanny as the spotted hyena's laughing sound, so they're not quite as well known for that. Next we have the brown hyena, which is the rarest type of hyena. It's considered to be endangered or critically endangered. The population estimates are unsure. It does live mainly in the southern areas of Africa, so around Namibia and South Africa and Botswana, all that. So it is not super common, unfortunately, and it is considered to be endangered in most places it lives. Now, again, mainly scavengers eating on dead carcasses, but what's interesting about most hyena species, hyenas are known for being found in large groups, but that's pretty much only the spotted hyenas. The striped and the brown hyenas, as well as the last hyena I'm going to be talking about, they are almost entirely solitary. Like, a bunch of hyenas can be found in big groups around a carcass, because if it's a large enough carcass, it'll attract a bunch of hyenas, but they don't really live in groups together, other than the spotted hyenas, which I just think is interesting. And finally, we have my favorite of the hyena families, the Ardwolf. Now, Ardwolves are quite a bit different from the rest of the hyena family. They don't pose any threat to humans unless, they're actively being cornered and harassed, in which case you deserve it. They're not dangerous to humans. They are also very shy, very solitary, and they eat almost entirely insects. Specifically, they eat pretty much entirely ants and termites, with an occasional, very rare supplement of meat, but most of their diet comes specifically from termites that are found in those really big termite mounds. And not a lot of people know that the Ardwolf exists. It's not a very well-known animal. These spotted hyenas are the most well-known, which is unfortunate because these guys are really cool. They're, first off, really cute, and second, they have such an interesting lifestyle that is so different from the rest of its hyena relatives. So yeah, there's the 4 hyena species, and they're just very cool animals that get a lot of hate and deserve some appreciation.